Hey, happy hump day. I'm Gio Benitez. It's Wednesday, April 22nd. You've got questions. We've got answers. This is Searched, where we're breaking down what you're asking right now in real time. So let's get right to it. Maya Ephraim is right here. She oversees our online search trends. So Maya, what are people searching for right now?
Hi, Gio. Starting with the Iran war, it was a volatile night in the Middle East, ending in a last-minute reprieve after President Trump officially extended the ceasefire, but the situation remains incredibly fluid. Today, interest is searching for the ships seized by Iran in the Strait of Hormuz and whether Iran has actually accepted the ceasefire extension. There's also massive speculation regarding Iran's leadership as people try to figure out who is actually calling the shots in Tehran right now. Search interest is also skyrocketing after Spurs star Victor Wembanyama was placed in concussion protocol following a fall in Game 2 against the Trailblazers. Fans are now flooding search to look up, is Wemby okay? And to find a video of exactly how the hit happened. With the series moving to Game 3, the big question right now is whether he'll be cleared in time. And finally, election results from Virginia have sparked national interest. Following the latest special elections and court rulings, redistricting has now become a breakout topic. People are searching for the new Virginia congressional map to see how their districts have shifted, alongside a breakout for searches for why is gerrymandering legal. Now, Gio, while the Supreme Court has ruled on this in the past, the 2026 cycle has reignited a heated debate over whether these new maps are truly constitutional.
Yeah, some really big stories there, Maya. All right, we'll see you again very, very soon. Let's dive a little deeper now into one of the top search stories today, that extended ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran. We've got our Ian Panel reporting for us in the Middle East. He's tracking it all from Tel Aviv right now. All right, Ian, good to see you. So there's a lot going on in the region. People want to know, why did Trump extend that ceasefire?
I mean, the short answer is because Iran refused to go to the peace talks, and so he was left with this simple choice. Either he extended the ceasefire or he had to go back to a state of complete war, which I don't think the administration wants. Why did Iran say that it wasn't going to go back to talks? Well, because it regards this U.S. naval blockade that's been in place now for well over a week as a breach of the ceasefire. And it's saying, look, while you're blackmailing us and blackmailing the economy and putting this blockade in place, then we don't have anything else to talk about. President Trump said Iran has to come to the talks because it lost the war. Well, Iran sees things very differently, and it said it wasn't going to the talks, and it didn't.
Ian, what's the response been like? Because people are searching for whether Iran rejected President Trump's ceasefire extension. So did they?
No, they haven't formally responded. I think the reason why people are asking this very legitimate question is because we keep reporting on what look like violations of a ceasefire, kind of military action by the U.S. Navy against Iranian flag vessels, action by the Iranians against other vessels in the area. So I think people quite rightly wonder, hey, is this really a ceasefire or not? In actual practice, the ceasefire is still largely in place. The U.S. and Israel are not bombing Iran, for example. Israel and Hezbollah have stopped firing on each other, and Iran has stopped attacking countries in the Gulf in the way that it was before. But it is a very imperfect ceasefire, but for now it's still in place. And I think it's kind of, in some senses, a game of economic chicken. The president says, look, this blockade that's in place is costing around something like $500 million a day, and it can't withstand that without making concessions and coming back to talk. Well, I think the view of Iran is the cost to the world economy is far greater. Look at aviation fuel, look at the price of gas at the pump. Food prices are expected to go up. And so the impact of what Iran is doing, stranglehold on this Strait of Hormuz, where so much oil and other goods pass through, is of course having a much wider global impact, and is really a question of who blinks first.
Who's making the decisions right now in Iran? Where's the supreme leader?
Yeah, well, where is the supreme leader? You're not the only one asking that question. I can tell you there are a few military people here in Israel asking that question, as well as in America. I mean, Mujtaba Khamenei, who's the son of Ali Khamenei, who was the old supreme leader, is in charge, but is believed to be in hiding, and of course nobody knows where. For security's sake, it appears that the Iranians are limiting how many people have access to him. In fact, it's been suggested that it's down to just a handful or even less. But the three people I think people should bear in mind is Mujtaba Khamenei, who is the supreme leader. They headed the IRGC. This is, in some senses, the armed wing of the regime, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, Commander Vaidi. And the third person is Galibaf, who is the Speaker of the Parliament. He was also the chief negotiator and a former leading military figure. It's really those three figures. Now, there have always been differences in Iran between the civilian leadership, which has never really had complete power, and the supreme leader, the military leadership and the Islamic leadership. That's really where power lies. But as far as intelligence sources here are telling us, they believe it is still Mujtaba Khamenei who's making those decisions, but it's taking a while for that to filter through.
All right, Ian Panel there, following it all for us in Tel Aviv. Ian, thank you so much. All right, let's get to this story that's now blown up online. Spurs star Victor Wembanyama injured in last night's game against the Trailblazers. We've got ESPN NBA analyst Danny Green on the line to talk about this. And really, who better to talk about this than the former San Antonio Spur and three-time NBA champ? Danny, it is good to see you. We caught you at the airport. Thank you so much for calling in. So tell us what happened with Wemby.
Thanks for having me, first and foremost. Sorry that I'm in transit right now. It's just bad timing. But what I saw last night, I mean, they played a hard-fought game. It was a good game to watch. He was intense. Everybody was getting after it. He was making a move, and somebody pulled the chair on him. And that's the term we use in basketball when somebody kind of removes himself when your momentum is going forward. And he couldn't stop his momentum. Kind of tripped over himself and hit the ground really hard. His face hit the ground. So for me, I was like, it doesn't look too bad. It doesn't look too serious. I think that's a win. I hope it's not a concussion. If it is a concussion, it means he's going to be out for a little bit longer. But I thought it was just more like a face plant and then being cautious of what was happening in the moment. So I don't expect him to miss a lot of time. But again, I'm not a doctor. I don't know what the extremities are of the injury. So we'll see and find out soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, we all hope that it's not a concussion. So there's a lot of searches for right now asking what is the NBA's concussion protocol?
It depends. It's different depending on how bad it is. Usually it's like a week. You have to sit out for a couple days. You have to retake the test. They test you after the game or when it happens, and they retest you, I guess, a couple days later to see where you're at. It depends on how extreme the situation or the concussion is. But to me, the way he fell, it wasn't like the back of the head or the top of the head or his skull. It was more of his face and his jaw. So I'm hoping and thinking that it's not that extreme or not that serious, and that he comes back with no time missed.
What's that test actually like?
It's a computer test. You get on a computer, you got your memory based on cards. You remember this red card or black card or diamonds or, hearts or 10 of clubs. It's kind of just memory and trying to click him through and also asking questions that most normal people would know or remember of the day, the time, the month. When you wake up, what month is it? What time of day is it? Where you at? Where are you? But and then, yes, mostly it's remembering cards in that fashion of what you've seen before or after. So it's a kind of a memory game on the computer.
So as a former San Antonio Spur yourself, do you think this changes anything for the team?
It shouldn't. They're a very good team if they play like it. Portland is a good team, too. I'm not trying to disrespect them, but they are the superior team. They're the better team. They're a deeper team. They have enough pieces, which they were up 14 in that game before they end up losing. They have enough pieces to get it done and win. So, yeah, even if he does take a week off, he will be back by second round, and they should be able to hold down the fort while he's out.
All right, Danny Green from ESPN, thank you so much for calling in while you're traveling. I hope you have smooth travels.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you. And remember, the Game 4 of the San Antonio Spurs versus Portland Trailblazers will air live on ESPN this Sunday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. All right, time to tee up now our third search story. Virginia approving a new redistricting plan. And I've got our political director, Avery Harper, right here in our D.C. bureau to break it all down for us. All right, Avery, thankfully, you happen to be a professor yourself. So tell us, what does redistricting mean?
So redistricting just means that this is a redrawing of congressional district lines. Typically, every 10 years after the census, we see states across the country redraw those lines, or in response to some sort of court order. What we're seeing now is actually very different. This is partisan reasons behind redrawing these lines. It's all about trying to squeeze out an advantage for one party or the other as we see the election on the line.
So what is gerrymandering and why is it legal?
So gerrymandering is trying to redraw those district lines for a strategic reason to benefit one party or the other. It's about grouping opponents in one district to strengthen the voice of that district, or diluting them by spreading them out over multiple districts. And the Supreme Court has ruled in the past that the federal courts cannot police gerrymandering, and so that's why you see both parties do it in states across the country. As long as it doesn't violate federal voting rights laws, it's perfectly legal to do.
People are actually searching what President Trump is saying about this Virginia redistricting. So what's he saying?
Yeah, so we've seen him lash out via social media. He posted that he believes, without evidence, that the election yesterday in Virginia was rigged. He says that he believes that the referendum was deceptive, purposefully to confuse voters, and he says he hopes that the courts weigh in.
Are there other states that are redistricting in 2026?
Yeah, Virginia is just one front in this larger redistricting battle. We've seen 7 states now redistrict in places across the country. For Republicans, we've seen Texas, North Carolina, Missouri, and Ohio. And for Democrats, we've seen California, Utah, and now Virginia all redistrict in favor of Democrats. And so this fight isn't really even over. Next week, we're going to see Florida lawmakers weigh whether or not to redraw districts there in favor of Republicans.
Avery, I guess the bottom line is, what does this mean for the midterms overall?
It means that the margins are very narrow, and so we're seeing both parties really try to fight with every tool in their arsenal to get as many points on the board as possible. We know that midterms overall are less favorable to the party in power. In this case, it is Republicans, and we're going to see Democrats try to rally support behind redistricting as a show of enthusiasm and organizing ahead of November.
I love having a poli-sci professor on our team. Avery Harper, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Okay, so we just ran through your top searches, but what else is on the timeline right now? Let's get back over to Maya. So Maya, what else is trending?
Well, Gio, let's go green. Happy Earth Day. Today marks the 56th anniversary of Earth Day, and it's now become the world's largest civic event with over 1 billion participants. This year's theme is Our Power, Our Planet, and it focuses on climate literacy and local impact. It's worth noting that the very first Earth Day led directly to the creation of the EPA. Today, the movement is focusing on the 25% revolution. It's the idea that if just a quarter of the population commits to social action, it can permanently change global norms. We all hope it does, Gio.
That's right. Go green and love that little blue dot in the universe. Thank you so much, Maya. Appreciate it.